Alright guys, so I'm going to be working on a couple things today. Still haven't gotten the drive shaft figured out, but started to work on the fuel system a little bit. I have a fitting that was like a coupler that was going to go on here. The company I bought it from actually sent me the wrong size fitting, so I contacted them and I'm in the process of getting a new one shipped right now. So just an honest mistake, they just grabbed the wrong one out of the bin. So that's going to be a little bit longer, and then this dipstick tube thing, tried to work on kind of bending it and getting it to work. I had it in a pretty good position, but it's not going to fit with the intake on it unless I bend it more, and I don't really feel like messing around with it, so I'm going to try something different and just make a little stubby. So kind of marked the point on the dipstick, how far it sticks out of the bottom of the tube, and I'm just going to cut it off right here and then basically cut this and then re-weld the end of it back on, see if that works, and it'll probably be about this long, so don't have to worry about it in the engine bay. It might be a little annoying having to go underneath to check the fluids, but it's not really something to do all the time anyway, so once it's good, it's set, and it'll be a little stubby system, so that's what I'm going to work on. If you look at the positioning here, the second dot is just below the bottom of the tube. You know, if I push up on it, springs back, it's pretty close to that second tube, so I'll just have to memorize that point, so when I cut it, this will stick out the same length. I'm just going to use a basic tubing cutter. This is kind of a bigger one. I have a couple really small ones, but this should work pretty decent. So that's pretty much that. It goes pretty quick. As we look at now, it's nice and stubby, short. It sticks out about the same distance. Just have it kind of taped together now, but I'll go through and tack weld it on. I just want to make sure that this was the right size. And I think that should be pretty close. Here we go. Nice little mini dipstick. Grommet goes on, slides right in the transmission. Just use some color, and I did grind these welds down a little bit so they weren't so big, but it's not perfect. It doesn't really need to be. Works for me. Here's what it looks like in the transmission. It's not so bad. It does come down as far as it needs to go. But while I'm down here, I'll show you the other fittings. Here's the rear transmission cooler fitting. This cap will slide on over this. Here's the front. I just have them basically set up like this. I'm gonna use the existing lines that are bent, and I'm going to chop one of them off right here, and then I'll just run a hose from here to here, and this one I'll cut off at the top and then run a hose from here to here, so it'll be a really short hose, and then I'll use the existing cooler lines and existing cooler up to the front. The engine out again. Decided to take it back out. I'm going to start to clean everything up while I'm waiting for everything else. So I'm not going to use the factory AC pump, so I'll probably pull this bracket off, but figured I'd use the opportunity to, while it's out, to clean up all this junk and try to get all that straightened out. A lot of crap here, and probably just go ahead and try to get that stuff out. So also, now that I have the engine out, I have a lot more room to work on this steering monster that I have, so try to tuck that away a little bit more and get it away from the exhaust. Other than that, I like that dipstick tube. It works out pretty good. Once it's filled, I won't really have to mess with it that much, and it's nice and out of the way. So I might take the opportunity while it's out to try to clearance some of this so I can get bolts in there for the bell housing bolts, but I should have enough room. It'll just be a little bit of a treat. So that's about all I have for you guys today. I'm going to put the engine up on the stand, start working on cleaning that thing up, take the AC bracket off, and then once that's on the stand, I'll be able to just kind of work on that thing and then still focus on trying to get a drive shaft. I may end up just having to have somebody make one or cut one and then have somebody balance it. But while the engine's out, I'll work on whatever I can inside the engine bay and probably start going through some of the wiring inside there, figuring out what everything is for and what I'm going to need, what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to get rid of, how much I can integrate into this harness, and then I think it'll probably be a little bit easier with the engine out. So that's about all I got for now. Kind of slow part of the build right now, but once I can get all this little piddly shit taken care of, then it should be running pretty soon after that. So stay tuned.